Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Gunning to Old Trafford, the FPL edition. You're with your host, Mohammed Faried here. Game week 21 incoming. Uh, if you're watching this when it's uploaded, it should be already game week 21. I think starts on the 20th of Jan. So, guys, let's have a quick recap of last week. Didn't go as planned, but quite happy about the decisions that I made. So let's get into it. Sitting on 52 points with three players left to play, Ake, Mahrez, and Haaland. Very happy that I didn't go triple captain on Haaland. I'm going to stick by the fact that I'm going to probably do it in game week 23. It might not be Haaland, though. I might change it up a little bit, just depending. It's probably most cases everyone's going to do Haaland triple captain game week 23, and if anything changes drastically, I'll probably um, captain him. If not, we'll see how it goes. So 52 points. Kepa did extremely well. Happy that I stuck with him and didn't go with Edison. I remember saying last week that that's probably the way to go. Ended up sticking with Kepa, so quite happy with that. Trippier again, another 9 points, solid as ever. Shaw coming in with four, which is expected because two really tough games. Crystal Palace was a tough game, I think. Made it a little bit more interesting going into Sunday's game, which we're going to talk about soon. Saliba with 6 points, not bad. I'm a little bit concerned about the Man City defenders, guys, and I'm a little bit more concerned about Man City assets at the moment, right? They're not really playing great football at the moment. I think Pep is making way too many changes, and I think it's affecting the team on a whole. I know a lot of people are going to probably be looking to bring in more Man City assets. I said the same thing last week as well. I'm beginning to rethink that a little bit. I'll go into a little bit more detail about what my thoughts are going into game week 21. Salah again, very quiet week. Um, Still provides an attacking threat for me. Liverpool have some good fixtures coming up, and I mean we can go into that quickly. Um, they've got a decent run of fixtures right up until the 18th of March. Um, Chelsea is probably the one that worries me a little bit. Newcastle and Man United. The other fixtures should be okay. The problem is Salah's probably not in his best form at the moment. So not scoring very well FPL wise. Martinelli is one I'm looking to maybe change. I like him. He has scored decent points for me, but I might change Martinelli to Saka. So still keep an Arsenal asset. And I made a mistake here with Ben White, leaving Ben White on the bench, and Ben White scored 8 points. So that could have really changed my week for me. Um, Mahrez, I'm gonna let it roll for one more week and see how it goes. Rashford really well, 12 points from two games. Was expecting a little bit more. Mitrovic on zero, which was a bit of a freak one. I think he missed the penalty, so that's really what uh, uh, made it worse for him. So let's look at it here. They don't actually say. Yeah, they don't go into it, but it was a weird one. Really was a weird one for Mitrovic. Haaland on 4 points, and that's because he was captain, so 2 points. Um, Tottenham's going to be a tough one for him. I think he does score if Tottenham don't man mark De Bruyne and keep De Bruyne and Foden and Mahrez out of the game. I think Haaland scores at least a goal. Um, Bench was shocking this week. I've got 15 points sitting on the bench. Andreas is doesn't bother me too much. Wilson with 5 points and Ben White with 8 points. So that's a little bit of a concern for this week. So I'm probably gonna let my transfer roll, so I have two for next week, and I think game week 23 is the double game week. Game week 25 is a blank for some teams, so might just keep my two transfers for next week and then take it from there. So let's see what the plan is for next week. So currently, this is what it looks like, but this is going to change, and I'm going to make those changes now live with you guys watching. I'm gonna drop Saliba for white. I might just drop. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna keep. That's risky. So you either go with your Man United and Arsenal resources and choose a team that you think is going to win. Personally, I'm going with a draw there, high scoring draw, probably a 2-2 or 3-3, which means no clean sheets there. Um, so going in with, okay, I think this makes its mind up for me. Um, Probably going to go three strikers, take Saliba out. Um, Probably do this. No, probably do this. Mitrovic against Tottenham is a bit of a tough one. Do they score? Does he score? Not too sure. Andre's not looking great. Man City against Wolves. That's going to be points. Shaw or White? Shaw or White? Let's go White. So I'm going to leave Shaw out. I think it's going to be a tough game for United. It's also going to be a tough game for Arsenal, but I think Arsenal more attacking threat. United depends on Martin, depends on Rashford, playing extremely well at the moment. Um, Ben White on the left though, on the right though, coming up against Rashford. Martinelli, Saka against Shaw. Now, I think I stick with White. White versus Rashford. I think White's a decent defensive option. Shaw against Saka. Guys, this might change. So I'm gonna leave it at I'm gonna leave it like this for now. Um, I might put in Shaw for White. Uh, I'll probably finalize that by Friday, which is tomorrow. If you're watching this at now, um, Salah stays. Not gonna make him vice captain. Probably gonna go with. Probably gonna go with. I'm probably gonna go with Mahrez as vice. Haaland as captain again. Wilson against Crystal Palace. I think he gets some points there. Probably not a lot. Kepa is the one that I'm a bit worried about, but then again, Leicester versus Brighton is going to be a tough game. So I stick with Kepa for now. And that's basically it, guys. So this is what my team looks like for now. What I'm going to talk about is plans for next week. I've got three Arsenal assets in, and I think, guys, that's probably going to be the way a lot of guys go is trying to get more Arsenal assets in. I need to maybe try and pull in one more Liverpool asset just because of the fixtures. I might drop Salah and bring in Darwin and Gakpo. Take a bit of a hit on that one. Maybe even Gakpo and Harvey Elliott. Problem is Harvey Elliott's cheap, so getting back to Salah if I wanted to is going to be a bit of a problem. Um, so I'm selling down. Martinelli going to be changed for Saka. So I take. So next week I either do Gakpo and Nunez for Mitrovic or Wilson. So I do Salah for Elliott or Gakpo, or I do Mitrovic for Nunez, or I just go Mahrez Elliott, Salah Gakpo, or is Gakpo forward? Gakpo's forward. Let's just check this out, guys. So let's go Salah. Let's go Gakpo's midfield. Okay, changes things a little bit. Odegaard is an option for instead of Saka. Price is a lot cheaper, so that might be somewhere I go. So I probably get rid of Martinelli and go to Odegaard, zero point 0.4 higher. I have 2.8 in my bank, so that's okay. Mahrez for maybe Harvey Elliott, and Elliott is 4.9. I could go Andreas for Elliott, and it's 4.4, and keep Mahrez in. Okay, so guys, it's a little bit of a difficult one next week. Not a great week for fixtures, but let's just see here. Did my changes save? Okay, captain there. Uh, White, Watson, Highland captain, Maris Vice, Shaw for Saliba, Shaw for Saliba, Andreas for Saliba there, Captain Haaland. Salah goes out next week, I think, for Gakpo. Andreas Pereira goes out for maybe Elliott. Or the other option is Mitrovic for Nunez. I need to think about that one. Um, and then Martinelli probably for Odegaard. So I need to decide. I either do two Liverpool players next week, or I do one Liverpool player, one Arsenal player. So I either do maybe Gakpo and Odegaard, or Elliott and Odegaard. We'll see how it goes. But uh, that's the plans. I think no real big injury concerns at the moment that hasn't been announced. Everything is probably the same as game week 20. No big changes. Chelsea's bought in some players. People talking about probably looking at Mudryk. Mudryk's price right now is 7, and his midfield, which is a good shout. 7 points, not that expensive. In actual fact, let's look at the Chelsea team. Chelsea. Joel James, Fofana out. Mason Mount still fit. Jorginho fit. Gallagher probably going out on loan if he doesn't stay. Ziyech not doing that great. Hutchison and Mudryk. And then Broha, Aubameyang, Havertz, and who else? Andre Santos, Fofana, and João Felix. João Felix is an interesting one, guys. 7.5. so not too much more than Mitrovic and Wilson. Does seem like he will get game time. Temperament's an issue, so red card in the first game. Bit of a contentious one with the red card, but I still believe it was a red. But do we bring him in? Is possibility. Chelsea's fixtures are not great. You've got one, two, three, possibly four okay fixtures, two really bad fixtures. I think West Ham is a tough one for them. The way they're playing at the moment, Tottenham's going to be a bad one. So you've got probably three out of the next 5 game weeks, which they don't really score that well. However, João Felix could help them turn that around. Um, so I think you maybe wait a little bit on Felix and then decide. And I think that's things to look at. Almiron from Newcastle and their fixtures. Liverpool 4 weeks time. Almiron could be a shout if you want to go with a different midfielder. Almiron's price is not crazy. Let's go Almiron 5.9. Definitely could fit him in, but let's just have a look at Almiron's points information. Minutes played, points. Here we go. 337223215. Not great on the points, I think. Has some decent weeks. 7 against Man City, 15 against there, 3 8 against Leicester, 6 6. So went on a bit of a run and now's a little bit mediocre. But if you look at this run from game week 12 all the way till game week 17, that was probably when you had to have him in. And I think that's the way to leave it. Something that a lot of people are talking about is going Trippier as captain instead of Haaland. Let's look at it, right? 18 points in game week 20 for him as captain, 16, 16, 24 in game week 17, 14, 24, 22. Geez, it's a lot of points, but there's some games that Kieran Trippier goes off early. Generally, when he goes off early, Newcastle tend to concede. At least that's what the pundits say and what the rest of the FPL guys say. But decent shout. Decent shout for captain. So something different if you want to try that out. Um, I'll I don't know if I'm that going to take that sort of a risk, but we'll have a look at it maybe in the next game week or so. And guys, I think that's all I wanted to cover. Um, go back to the stats for now. My rank is 285, so still need to go up there. Still dropping places everywhere. Got into Old Trafford League from 5th to 6th. I think I was 5th last week. Um, it's I get a couple of points tonight, and I probably jump up to 4th. But we've got our guys as well. Anis, 2 players. Anis and Mohammed. So both the Jet Dams have 2 players playing at City. I've got 3. Hopefully my 3 score me points, guys, and then I move back up into 4th, which is decent enough. I've got a bit of a jump there to get up to Moaz. Well done, Moaz. Doing extremely well. Shady needs to learn a little bit from you. Give him some pointers. And I guess that's it, guys. So next week, game week 22, not a great game week. We'll come up with some ideas, look at some Arsenal assets, look at some Liverpool assets for me because the game weeks are quite good for them. Um, Not playing the greatest football, but always have that chance that they can score points. Other than that, guys, it's been a decent week, 52 points. Hoping I could get at least another. I could get a clean sheet, so that's six, maybe another 12, 12 points plus, and I'll be happy. And turns it into a decent week for me. 12 points plus, and that's me. Have a great one. Hope to see green arrows next week for everyone. Guys, jump onto Instagram, jump onto TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. Like, share, subscribe, all the usual stuff. Share some of your teams with us. If you are not part of the Gunning to Old Trafford League and you would like to be, um, league code is as follows. There we go. YZ0EJL. We'll share that in the comments section of the YouTube video that goes up. So if you guys want to join, let's make this a really, really big league, and let's see who wins. Right now, we are sitting at 50 people, 100 people, 105. Let's try and see if we can. I mean, guys that watching the YouTube videos, let's see if we can get up to 200 user, 200 people in the Gunning to Old Trafford League. I think it makes it massive, and yeah, looking forward to it. Um, all the best, guys. Catch you guys next week. Tadi coming up next, and hopefully he's got some good things to share with you guys as well. I don't know how his game week went. We'll be sharing the results on Instagram, and myself and Tadi are going to have a bit of a competition going. We'll have more details on that next week. Who wins? Right now, we are sitting at 50 people, 100 people, 105. Let's try and see if we can. I mean, guys that watching the YouTube videos, let's see if we can get up to 200 user, 200 people in the Gunning to Old Trafford League. I think it makes it massive, and yeah, looking forward to it. Um, all the best, guys. Catch you guys next week. Tadi coming up next, and hopefully he's got some good things to share with you guys as well. I don't know how his game week went. We'll be sharing the results on Instagram, and myself and Tadi are going to have a bit of a competition going. We'll have more details on that next week. Thanks, guys. And as always, you're gunning to Old Trafford. Bye.
Thanks so much, Farid, and hello, viewers. Welcome back to the channel, and thanks again for tuning in to the little um, fantasy Premier League segment we're trying to get going. Again, guys, just give us feedback. Let us know what's working. Let us know what's not. Let us know what you want to see, and also let's just have dialogue and discourse in the comment section at the bottom of the video. I'll take you through my team real quick, maybe spend 2 minutes on game week 20 and then 6 or so minutes on potential moves I'm going to make this week. Game week 20 was pretty solid for me. I got 85 points. I did triple captain my captain, who was Haaland. Did he bring in as many points as I wanted? No, I wanted I wanted 3 goals at least. But all in all, I can't complain. It was either I captain him game week 20 or game week 22. And I think in my analysis this week, I was more comfortable this week. So that was that. And if you guys remember, it was my captaincy choices were between Haaland and Kane. So had I captained Kane, I would have only got 21 points. So all in all, I'm happy. I'm content. I'm not happy. I'm content. I won't complain. I am happy, however, with my backline. Keeper, um, Kepa, brilliant stuff. 10 points, clean sheets, bonus points, I'm sure. Trippier, Botsman, the Newcastle guys are really pulling up. I really can't say how happy I am with them. Very good choices, I think. Quite chuffed with myself. I brought in Buemo, and I think I took minus points to bring him in. So, the minus points of 4, so we have a net of 2. I'm not too upset with that. I'm happy. He broke, it's more than even, so I'm happy with that. In the mid, I will not lie, I was a bit disappointed with what was going on in the midfield. I just don't know what happened. De Bruyne didn't play the second game. Very disappointing because I brought him in primarily because he had a double game week, and for him to play one game is a bit disappointing. But it is what it is. Andreas came and ticked the box. You guys now know I'm always pissed off at that, but it is what it is. Rashford, I'm an Arsenal guy, but I will admit the man has been in crazy, crazy form. Um, 7.8, 101 points so far this season. You really won't be going too wrong with him. And his value has actually been increasing. It dipped for a bit, but it's been increasing again. We will just see how that goes. Oh, sorry, I was looking at the wrong way. Has increased significantly from the beginning of the season. So if you are holding on to him, you've made a bit of money. Is it time to let him go? I do not believe so. But yeah, we'll just see. The second game, he actually only scored 2 points. That was the first one he scored 10. But he's been fairly reliable. I'm not moving him. He's definitely staying. I think this week he also has a nice fixture. Oh no, they're playing Arsenal. Woo! Yeah, yeah. We'll see how that goes. Mount is actually, and we're going to discuss it later, one of the guys I'm thinking of removing. I haven't been impressed with his form. And I think there's much, much more value to be sought out on the market if we go to market. So we'll see what market options are there. We already talked about the front two. Kane, solid. Haaland would want more, but it is what it is. Martial is another one that we might consider removing. When we go on to my next game week, you've noticed I already made a couple of choice changes. Uh, I think game week 21 belongs to the Brighton and Arsenal players. We're going to look at it high level. Just think whoever you bring in must be a Brighton guy or an Arsenal guy. If you're going to take one piece of advice, you'll be pretty fine with that. Gabriel was on my bench. I brought him in. I actually think he had a good game week 20. I scored 5 points. Hasn't been too bad. Game week 15, he pulled 15 points. So, since the restart, we haven't seen him wake up the way he did before, but Arsenal's in good form. The back line is pretty strong, so you'll always be hoping for, at least clean sheet, extra points. It would sound like Rashford on Man U side. It's a bit dicey. I've also brought in Odegaard, been playing fantastically. I've actually been kicking myself that I didn't bring him in earlier. Game week 20, he had 9 points. He is a bit costly at 6.8 million. I don't know if you guys have that sort of budget to play with at this point in the season. But as you can see, he's been pretty solid. 16, 11, 3, 2, 9. I have high confidence that he will bring in a lot of value to my team. Other than that, I don't think that we've made any other changes by way of the squad itself. We'll take you through defense, the keeper, defense, mid, and strikers, talking about one or two players and giving you guys options as well. In the back line, again, I talked about the Newcastle guys. I'm really, really happy, particularly with Trippier. He's doing fantastically. 9 points in the last game week, excellent form. Crystal Palace this week, which is a bit dicey. It's a bit of a dicey game. But thereafter, I think Newcastle have two pretty good games. Yeah, they've got West Ham United and Bournemouth, which look like they're quite strong for them. So he could be a good hold. In fact, anyone from Newcastle could be a good hold, at least for the foreseeable future. Game week 24, we will need to make a few changes because I think that's when they get into some pretty dicey water. They've got Liverpool and then Man City soon afterwards. So it's a bit tricky, but we've got some time to think about it. We've got some time to assess who in defense can do better. Buemo is going to stay, and already talked about Gabriel. Let's say I removed Buemo. We have to go to transfers view because I need to give you guys some alternative options. I don't know. Okay, let's actually remove Patterson. I'll talk about why I still have Patterson in a few I think in next week's game week preview. But if I was to select a replacement, it's almost a no-brainer. Serge Aurier been looking so fantastic. Form of 6.8, 8 points in the last game week, and he's only owned by 1%. So he's a real differential that you guys probably shouldn't overlook. And his last few game weeks have actually been solid. 10 from Chelsea, Southampton 8, and Leicester 8. And his value, wow, it's just been stuck at 4.5 million. So if there's a buy, I would seriously consider him. I'm not sure I want to take minus points at this point in the season, especially last week. I took -8 last week. And at this point in the season, with the defense I have, I'm not sure it's worth it. But it's something for you guys to consider, certainly. In the midfield, again, I already expressed some of my disappointment and some of the higher value players. They will not be named. I'll likely, right now I'm still playing around with two options, that being March or Prowse. So let's quickly go through them. Uh, let's start with March, actually. Um, why was I interested in March? I think he's proven enough value for me that I might actually take minus points for him. 19 whole points from the last game week, form of 11, and the form has been pretty good. Everton 11, Liverpool 19, Southampton 13. Can't really ignore him. Again, his value has been holding at 5 million. That's not going to happen for much longer. I'm pretty sure of that. I'll actually be interested to find out how much higher his ownership rate goes going into game week 21. But right now it's 4.4%, so which makes him a pretty juicy differential. I'm also looking at Prowse. Am I not spelling it right? What do they want? Sorry, WordPress. Another guy you really should be looking at. Last week he pulled in 15 whole points. He's actually owned by more players than March. If you look at the value, it's actually gone down. Looks like he's gone down a bit. But he's also been relatively consistent. You can say that he'll at least play the game. But after that 15 massive haul, you really can't ignore him too much. I'm not 100% convinced yet. I'm still playing around with the idea between March and Prowse, but I think I'd be willing to take some minus points, maybe, for one of those two guys. Then in the front, I've got Haaland, I've got Kane. And if you guys remember from the other view, my pick team view, I think I'm just going to have those two in the front this week. There is the captaincy choice again, which is always a bit of a headache for me. And I think it's been been my Achilles heel this season. I just can't nail the captaincy choices yet. I'm still developing my methodology as to how to assess that. But I'll listen to Faried, I'll listen to Raz and hear what they have to say about the captaincy choice. I'm open to anything and everything, guys. So just let me know. Um, if I was to look at some differentials, sorry, I think my mom is messaging me. If I was to look at bringing in a forward, I would be very, very, very tempted by Kai. Sorry, I'll show you. I'm gonna be very careful about people's pronunciations. I don't want to butcher their names. Chelsea guy, 6 points from the last game week, 5.4% ownership, so a nice differential again. At 7.8, I mean, by way of strikers, he's not. You can't really call him expensive, but he'll take up a significant chunk of your value, and he has gone up recently. I'm not sure if he's going to continue going up, but he's been one of the guys who've really interested in me. I think he's in the last 3 games, he's had like 13 pretty solid shots. He's made 10 key passes. So then in my mind, I'm already thinking, okay, there's a lot of goal potential there. If you can just find the back of the net. One on the other end, there's also a lot of assist potential. And, points are points, guys. We need points at this point in the season. I would also be tempted by, I think, Ferguson. It's late in the week. Oh, what's going on here? Oh, I have a max number of defenders from them, but no, that's not who I want. Um, Apologies, guys. Again, sorry. Nope. It's a Brighton player. I just uh, it's a. I think I was just misspelling. I'm not sure what happened, but anyway, 2 goals and 2 assists in the last 3 matches, if I'm correct. At 4.5 million, he's also, when you're telling me he's had 2 goals and 2 assists in the last 3 games, and he's going for 4.5 million pounds, you can't really ignore that sort of option. If you're tight on money, that would certainly be someone I would consider bringing in. And he pulled 11 versus Everton. I don't think he's going to hold at this value much longer. Maybe 2 more game weeks. I don't think many managers have much faith in him yet, but that would be my pick. Apart from that, guys, I don't know. Let me know what you guys are considering. Let me know what moves you're making, especially captaincy. And let's just chat in the comment section below. Um, have a great weekend and good luck to all of the managers out there. Cheers. Bye, guys.